Business momentum is not the same as business direction. A system in motion will keep moving along whatever trajectory it was given when it was built. That trajectory does not update because the founder's priorities changed. It does not recalibrate because the market shifted. It continues in the direction it was designed for until someone deliberately changes the architecture. Most founders mistake movement for steering. The business is moving. That does not mean anyone is deciding where it goes. And the reason this is so easy to miss is that a moving business feels like a directed one. Revenue is coming in. The team is executing. Clients are being served. Every visible indicator of a healthy operation is present. But underneath all of that activity, the business is following a trajectory that was set months or years ago, and nobody has stopped long enough to ask whether that trajectory still points in the right direction. The founder looks at the dashboard, sees the numbers moving, and concludes that the business is on track. On track toward what is the question that never gets asked. A system does not need the founder to maintain momentum. It needs the founder to build it. Once built, the system runs on its own inertia. Clients get served. Revenue comes in. The team executes. And because everything appears to be working, the founder assumes the business is going where they intend. It is not. It is going where the architecture points. And the architecture was designed for where the business was, not where the founder wants it to go. That distinction sounds minor. Over 2 or 3 years, it becomes the entire difference between a business that serves the founder's life and one that has quietly replaced it. This is one of the most disorienting discoveries a founder can make, because it means that success and drift can exist simultaneously. The business can be performing well by every conventional measure and still be moving in a direction the founder would not have chosen if they had stopped to look. Growth is not the same as progress toward something. It is just more of whatever the system was already producing. And more of the wrong thing, produced efficiently, is still the wrong thing. The efficiency makes it worse because it compounds faster. The confusion comes from treating operational health as a proxy for strategic direction. A healthy operation means the system is functioning as designed. It says nothing about whether the design is still serving the founder's actual goals. Those are two completely separate questions, and most founders only ask the first one because the second one requires stepping outside the operation long enough to see it from above. That stepping outside feels like a luxury when the business is busy. It is not a luxury. It is the only mechanism available for changing where the business is going. Without it, the founder is not leading. They are just the most invested passenger on a vehicle they built but no longer steer. The moment most founders realize this is not a planning meeting or a strategic retreat. It is a quiet Tuesday when nothing is wrong and something still feels off. The numbers are fine. The team is fine. The clients are fine. And yet, there is a persistent sense that the business is moving somewhere the founder did not choose. That feeling is not anxiety. It is accurate perception. The business has direction. The founder just is not the one providing it anymore. Steering requires friction. A founder who removes themselves entirely from the operation removes the mechanism that creates directional change. The business does not drift because nobody is working. It drifts because nobody is applying the specific kind of resistance that redirects momentum. Execution maintains direction. Governance changes it. Most businesses have plenty of execution and almost no governance. That is why they keep moving without ever actually turning. Governance in this context does not mean meetings or reporting structures or management layers. It means the founder periodically applying deliberate pressure to the trajectory of the business. Asking not just how is the operation performing, but where is this operation going, and is that still where I want it to go? Those questions feel abstract when the business is busy. They feel urgent only after the drift has accumulated enough to become a problem that is expensive to reverse. And by the time drift feels urgent, it has usually been compounding quietly for longer than the founder realizes. What looks like a sudden strategic crisis is almost always a slow directional failure that went unexamined for too long. The practical difficulty is that trajectory correction requires the founder to temporarily slow execution in order to redirect it. And slowing execution feels irresponsible when the operation is moving and clients are depending on delivery. So the founder keeps executing. The momentum keeps building. And the gap between where the business is heading and where the founder actually wants it to go keeps widening quietly underneath a surface that looks like everything is working. There is a specific version of this that catches founders who have successfully removed themselves from day-to-day operations. They stepped back from execution. They built the team. They created the systems. And now the business runs without them, which feels like the goal. Until they realize that a business running without them is also a business changing direction without them. The same autonomy that freed them from operations removed them from governance. And governance is the only thing that keeps the trajectory intentional. Freedom from execution without governance is not the finish line. It is a new kind of trap with a more comfortable exterior. The founders who avoid this are not the ones who work harder on execution. They are the ones who treat direction as a separate discipline from operation. They build time into their rhythms specifically for asking trajectory questions. Not performance questions, not efficiency questions, direction questions. Where is this going? Is that still right? What would have to change if it is not? Those questions feel uncomfortable because they do not produce immediate visible results. But they are the only questions that determine whether the business is building towards something deliberate or just building because the system has enough momentum to keep going. The business keeps moving without you steering it because movement does not require steering. It requires momentum. And momentum is what every well-built system produces automatically. Steering is something different. It is the deliberate application of directional pressure by someone who is above the operation rather than inside it. And it only happens when the founder makes it happen deliberately, repeatedly, and before the cost of changing course becomes higher than the cost of staying on the wrong one. Next episode, we are going into something that connects directly to this. Why fixing your business often feels like things are getting worse before they get better. Because changing direction in a system that has momentum is not a smooth transition. It creates resistance, and most founders misread that resistance as evidence that the change was wrong. I will see you tomorrow.